Eric in Minneapolis writes to me, "Hey Paul." "Hey Eric." "Since less than 4,000 total album titles have been released in the DSD format." I'm going to take your word for that. I don't think that's accurate, but let's say it's because I think when you hear the rest of it, it doesn't really matter. Isn't it silly for hi-fi gear manufacturers to build and market DACs, which decode DSD files? Correct me if I'm wrong, but by my conservative calculations, that many titles is less than 0.1% of all recorded albums. In other words, if a person had a collection of 10,000 albums, statistically only one of them would be available as a DSD file. So most people would probably realistically never purchase more than 1% or 40 titles, which is a minuscule 0.00001 of every recorded album. And how many people's systems are even resolving enough to allow anyone to hear a difference? Well, I do get some good questions. First off, I think it's hard to generalize like that. It's like saying 92% of people prefer vanilla ice cream to chocolate, which I'm sure isn't true, but some large percentage, because first off, you're going to have to segment them down to people who like ice cream. There's plenty of people that don't touch dairy. There's plenty of people that don't like ice cream. And so whether chocolate or vanilla is better is irrelevant to those people. So first off, we have to segment who the heck we're talking about, right? And in this case, let's segment it down to people who would care about DSD or PCM or vinyl. And those people would be audiophiles, hi-fi buffs, people that are interested in the quality of sound reproduction. Now, let's ask the question again. Of the audiophiles of the world, and let's say there's 200,000 of them. Let's say there's 250,000 audiophiles in the world. I don't know what the number is, but let's just say that, right? What percentage of those people are interested in DSD? And I would say a very large percentage of those people are interested in DSD because they recognize the better sounding quality of it. So when you ask about does it make sense for manufacturers of DACs to include DSD, I would have two answers for you, both of which would be yes, but first off, who buys a DAC? That guy down the street who owns a Sanseer receiver or a Sony, or a Bose setup, he didn't even know what a DAC is, right? He's not going to buy a DAC. So the only people buying separate DACs are audiophiles in the first place. And of those people, how many people would pay attention to DSD? Well, I think a lot of them, over half, would be interested in DSD because they've heard the quality difference at Octave Records, at Native DSD, at any number of places that recognize the quality of DSD. So I think you have to position the question a little differently, and then you'll get an answer that you're kind of happy with. All right.